Hey, this is Jake's Makes, and today I have printed a baby Groot. And the reason why I did this print, other than it just being super cool, is my friend Danielle wanted this print. And what's so special about it is he's got a hole in his head that you can put a little bit of dirt and a succulent plant inside. And so I posted that on Instagram, and she was just like, dude, that's fucking sick. And she does some really cool, I think it's like crayon melted wax art on canvas. And so I said, hey, I think your stuff's pretty cool. She thinks my stuff's pretty cool. So we're going to do a straight trade across and just support your fellow makers and artists and whatnot. So, yeah, so let's get this guy off the build plate. We'll clean off some of the supports and get this thing going. And so I used the putty knife that came with the CR10. It's got a nice little beveled edge so you can really dig underneath here. And you can kind of see that I have all this extra material underneath the legs and hands where normally it would come in contact with the build plate, and that is called a brim, kind of like a brim of a hat. You know, it extends around and it gives you a greater footprint with which to adhere your pieces to the build plate, so you get less warping. Things tend to come out a lot better when they don't move and they're adhered a little bit better to the bed. And so his arm just broke off, but luckily that's not the worst thing that has ever happened in the world of 3D printing. We have glue, so never fear. I'm just going to pop him up like that. Okay. And then anyways, we can show you on a video how I do glue prints back together and, fix such problems as this. But you see, most of this stuff comes off relatively easy. I'll have to get up in there with the putty knife. Clean it up. And you can kind of see just the little separation layers where the diagonal patterns are the solid body, and the smaller, they kind of look like little cells. That's where the brim is. So it just tears right off. And so I'm going to keep removing these here supports, and when I get it all cleaned up, we'll check back in and show you how we're going to reattach that hand. Okay, so we've got all the supports removed, and as it would be, while I was removing the supports, his other hand fell off. So no big deal, we're just going to go through the process twice. Got my trusty crazy glue. This stuff works, I mean, it's crazy glue. It works with everything. So we're just going to work this out real quick. And so with this print, I didn't do a heavy amount of infill, so we're just going to go around the periphery of where the break was, and we're just going to just lay it on there. People have been crazy gluing their 3D prints since the beginning of 3D printing. So, I mean, people sometimes say your printer's a little small and you're doing a really big piece, and you've got to combine them. You know, you got to do what you got to do to finish your work. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. So there we go. I like to do a little fill right there. Make sure you're really bridging it. Essentially, you're just using this glue as a weld, and you want to make sure you get it on the inside contact, you know, where the two faces of the separated material are, and then you want to send a little bead just to bridge the outside to the outside of both parts. So there's that, and now we're just going to let this sit for, I'd say, half an hour. It's a little cold today, so as always you want to recap and seal your stuff so you can actually use it again. But just to show you guys, you know, my groot, see, we've got the little succulent plants up in there, and you know, I got really lucky, and the cut of succulents that I did had a really big one, kind of a medium, and then two smalls kind of shooting off the side, so it just really flowed. So but anyways, yeah, here he is. A lot of people tend to paint and stain and finish it out, but I did kind of like the raw finish of this print, and so I didn't really want to mess with it, but it does look pretty cool when people kind of paint the veins and really give it kind of a dark, sort of like a wet oak with like moss on the veins and stuff. Looks really good. But anyways, I really liked just this wood finish, and wanted to show you guys how to work with the brim supports, how to fix broken prints, and what you can do to make some really cool art and work with your fellow artists. And again, her Etsy name is Mighty Midget 420, and she's got some really awesome paintings and other art, so check her out. Anyways, thanks for watching.